Good afternoon, evening, everyone. Welcome back to HR Repair. This is Hey Ray. Tonight we have a 2006 GMC 2500. It's got the Duramax with the Allison transmission in it. This is a good one. Customer complaint is that we have low power until all of a sudden it feels like the turbo just takes off. So if you know anything about these Duramaxes, you know that they have a lot of trouble with the unison ring and the turbo either breaking or sticking. So with the amount of miles that this one has, which is 470,249 miles on the odometer. I've already pulled it into the shop because it's dark outside. It's getting dark a little early here in central Illinois. So we're going to go ahead and just get this thing hooked up to the scan tool. Let's scan it for codes, see what we got. So first thing first, let's get our scan tool here and we will get this hooked up. All right, that thing's going through a fault scan. So while it's doing that, let's go over this truck just a little bit. This truck is the 2006 model. It's the late 05, early 06. This is the LBZ model. If you know the series of Duramax, they went, the original one was the LB7, which ran from 2001 to 2004, early 2004. Then from 2004 and a half, I call it 2004 and a half, to 2005, they ran the LOI. Now, in the first part of 06, the first half of 06, they considered the Duramax in that time to be the LLY. However, the block and the heads were already upgraded. The turbo, actually the block and the heads are pretty much the same from the LLY to the LBZ, but the turbo is different. So the early 06, what is considered the LLY, which will be designated by the VIN number or the VIN letter, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8th VIN will either be a 2 or a D. If you've got an 06 and yours is a 2, you have what is considered the LOY. Now, that is different from the 05 LOY and 04.5 LOY because it has the smaller turbo. The only thing is it's still got the D-rated tune, so they consider it an LLY. Now, with a tune, you can make that LLY run just like an LBZ. So, this is an LBZ. This is a true LBZ. So, again, customer complaint is the check engine light is on and low in power until all of a sudden it just takes off. So, I took it on a test drive. I verified that that is correct. It feels like there's no turbo. Now, I hear the turbo, but it feels like there's no turbo boost until all at once you can hear the vanes move and off it goes. So let's, looks like we have 2 powertrain codes. So let's see what we have here. Trouble codes. I could have done this easily. Always forget to look at the list. We'll get it this way. Takes a little longer. My assumption is we're going to find some turbo codes with the way it was running. Okay, EGR, flow excessive. That's not a problem that we see. Turbo charger boost control position not learned. Okay, mil requested is going to be for this P003A. So, this code can come up for every time these engines start, they go through what is called a learn, a turbocharger learn. It will flow or move the turbo, and that will learn the computer of the boost control position. So it'll do like a sweep of the turbo and on every startup. Now, this is saying it did not learn that. Now, we could try to go in and see if we can learn it. But another thing that can cause this is that we may have something going on with either our vane positions or our sensor for the vane position sensor. Now, I'm just going to come into live data. Before we do much of anything else, let's just go and see if we can see anything here in live data. I think it's going to be in fuel, because the turbocharger is part of the fuel, I think. Nope, that is incorrect. Alright, this is not funny anymore. Let me find this and I'll be right back. Here we go. Come into turbocharger vane position sensor. Desired is 0. Vane position is 33%. So do we have a stuck turbo? Yeah, so here we go. Turbocharger position. Come on here. Turbocharger position learn this run cycle? No. Turbocharger position learned since DTC clear? No. Increase. Let's see if anything moves. We don't see anything move. I can hear it try to move something. Well, let's just do a under hood inspection. Let's see what we find there. Get a light here. Let's just see if we can find any wiring or anything. Well, that's a problem. You guys see what I see? I wonder what caused that. That is incredibly odd. I mean, what in the world? I mean, this is a problem. I'm not saying it's the whole problem. I'm not 100% sure what that noise was out of the turbo, but I mean, if the honestly, if the thing doesn't know where the position is at, it's probably going to move it too far. So, well, folks, we can go no further until we get another sensor. Now, I think I actually have a known good sensor that will fit on there. I think it's the right one. I've changed a couple of turbos, and I'm kind of a hoarder. I think this is the right one. These things are pretty expensive if you have ever had to replace one. Yeah, this one's a known good one, and I use it to test turbos. So get a new turbos with a new sensor in it, and I just pull the old one out of the turbo. So why don't I'm pretty sure this is the right one to go in there. Why don't we switch this out and see if we have any better luck, and see if the turbo is stuck or if it's going to work after we get that changed. So let me get you guys set up here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get that thing replaced, and let's just see what happens here. So this thing comes down. I mean, it's gonna be pretty easy to pull out, but it just feeds right up through here, goes all the way up there, and just kind of drapes across there. So let's go ahead. You guys fell. Oops. Okay. So right down here, right on the side of this mount, is where this thing comes down to. So what we need is to unplug that. There it is. All right. So there's that end. Now this one does not have any of the blue tabs on it to hold it in place. This one's actually broke here, so I'm not going to put those on. This is mainly just to see if this is going to work. Is it going to be worth spending the $400 or $500 on a new sensor, or is the turbo going to have to be replaced? Now, you can change the turbos on these things. without removing the cab. However, it is a absolute pain in the tail end because GM decided to put it down in the uttermost parts of the engine. This one is not on there correctly. This is not how this goes. We'll fix that. Okay. This needs to come up over the top. Ouch! Ow! Oh, you guys can't even see. Sorry. I need to pay closer attention. The camera guy is failing at his job. He's gonna get fired yet. Okay, there's that. And we'll go put this here. And we can slide that back down across there. Got to be careful you don't drop anything in there. A lot of times I like to throw something across there. So let's just see if my little Nipix will remove this thing. Yep. Let's keep our fingers crossed and everything else that we have two of, that this turbo is not froze up, because I don't want to install a new turbo on this thing. This is an absolute horse's tail end to put a new one in. Come on. And we can just kind of drape this across there. It doesn't have to go exactly the way it came from the factory, because again, this is just a testing sensor. I just want to see, is it going to run good after changing this? So let's do this. So basically, this thing has a solenoid right on the side here, and it turns a set of vanes inside the turbo, which allows more exhaust to go past the compressor turbine wheel, or less, therefore creating more boost or less boost depending on what it needs and what the engine's requiring of it. It is supposed to help with turbo lag, better fuel economy, and obviously less emissions with the variable vane turbo. Now, they do work, but if they idle a lot, they actually work pretty good, but if they idle a lot, you get a lot of buildup in this unison ring, and you'll then start to have a unison ring that sticks. Sometimes high EGTs will cause the unison ring to crack as well, or it will stick and then crack. I've had that happen already. So, yeah, they will. They're kind of a problem. Back in the old days, where we had a wastegate, which meant that it would waste the exhaust if it got too much boost, and basically the exhaust would bypass through a manual valve out through the tailpipe. That was all we had back in the day, and turbos would last for hundreds of thousands of miles. Now, I think this one looks like it's almost still factory OEM, so I mean, a guy can't really complain about that. That's fairly decent mileage, but I have replaced some with 150 to 175,000 miles, and that's just kind of unheard of for turbos back in the day. So that was back in my day when I first started. Now, yeah, we don't need to close that right now. So let's see what we get now. Do we have any kind of a turbocharger vane position sensor? We do. And I am concerned about the fact that we are not seeing the turbo move. Yep, the turbo is not moving. Yeah, it's not wanting to move. According to the position sensor. It may be stuck in such a place that... Okay, the turbo is moving now. I am afraid that we have a turbo that is freezing up. We might be able to get this thing unfrozen, but I mean, it's starting to move. You can hear the vanes. It's trying to move it. It's starting to move, so it may free up. So I think what we need to do, we do need to go out and get this thing warmed up. And hey, it has moved. Okay, yeah, it... It's got some carbon buildup there. This thing's probably gonna be a little sticky. Especially when it's cold. So, come on. Yeah, it's starting to move now, so let's get this... That thing was sitting still for a long time. He told me it's been doing this for several weeks, so yeah, I'm not surprised that it's froze up. But let's just see what we can get to work here. Let's get my phone just in case something happens. Never, ever, never leave without your phone on a test drive. Actually, let's go ahead and clear the codes now. I'm not gonna let him keep the sensor that I've got here because that sensor is used and I don't really want to send that out to him. So let's just do a quick erase here. I think we should be able to do it with it running. A lot of times you can on the Duramax. So we'll clear these codes, then we're gonna go out, drive it, cycle the key, but we need to get this thing warmed up and get that turbo moving back and forth so that we can hopefully get some of that stuff knocked off of it, get that thing freed up, because it probably hasn't moved very well in quite some time. So let's just take it out and see what we can come up with. I know it's going to be dark out here, but maybe you guys can see. Oh, and we also have half of our dash that's not lit up. That's nice. So let's see how our turbo is going to respond to us here. I can tell you pretty quick if this is going to be able to be fixed or not. We need to see what happens when we let it cool down. Oh yeah, it's definitely working now. Let's go back here. Come back into active test, engine, and I can at least see where our sensor's at. Okay, so the sensor's at 80, the desired is at 80%. So let's go ahead and, I mean, it's moving. Yeah, it's heavy acceleration. We're definitely moving the way we need to be moving, so. The turbo is now moved, as you guys can see. Hello, Mr. Obvious. Here I am stating the obvious. I want to take this thing, let it sit overnight. I'm going to be back in the shop in the morning, which is Saturday morning, and I'm going to see if this thing will still work. Now, I know he pulls this thing pretty hard, so this thing doesn't play around. That helps build heat and get a lot of that soot and crap out of there. So as long as he does that, I think this is gonna be a a fix for this truck. I moved the vanes back and forth. I kept switching it on and off, and the idea is that you move it and you get that carbon knocked off of there. You might be able to get it to move, and we were able to get it to move, and it's responding immediately now. So this is good. I like this. It may still be a little bit sticky when it's cold, but the only way to know is to start it and run it tomorrow. So let's just see what happens when we come back tomorrow. I'll bring you guys back. All right, folks. Well, it's actually several days later. This is Monday now, Monday evening. I was going to do it Saturday morning, but I just ran out of time, and I decided, you know what? We're just going to wait for a while, and that'll be even better. So let us get into this thing. We're going to get into live data here and pull that up again. Then we can see where, oh, excuse me, I forgot already. Okay. So we're going to just see what this thing does. Okay, it's moving. So I think this thing should be fixed, except we need to put him a new sensor in there. So I'm just going to take this thing on a little test drive. We're going to see how it reacts. I do have a new sensor on the way, and I'll bring you guys back when that happens. When I get that in, I should be getting that in the morning. So those things are expensive. From the dealer, they're like $500 or $600. But from Garrett Turbo, which is the OEM manufacturer, it's more like $300 or $400. So we're going to go that route. But yeah, it's working just great. Everything's working fine there. So we're going to consider this a success and celebrate, because I am not in the mood to do a turbo on a 470,000 mile truck. Here's the sensor, but you can't hardly read that, so I will put the part number down in the description below. Alright, so we're hooked up to the scan tool here. Let's do, come on, let's do a Relearn on our turbocharger learn. There we go. Let's do a turbocharger learn on. So it'll move this thing from one end to the other, and then that will complete the learn cycle. Why can I not see that PID here? I declare, sometimes Snap-on is a little stupid when it comes to their scan tools. Oh well, okay. So we're good to go. This has done a relearn, and we should be good to go. We're gonna check it out, make sure. So let's get into here. I think this is where this is stored, in this one. Turbocharger vane position sensor. And these two here we want to be right close by. Alright, so the goal is we want 80 and 80 for wherever it's requesting. That we want that to be on par with each other, which I think we've already proved that that is possible with the test sensor that we had in there. So I'm not too worried about it, but we're going to verify the repair. Man, I'm so happy that this thing decided to start working. That just makes my day complete. We still got good power. A little bit that I took off there. So we see that it's moving the way it's supposed to. Yeah. We're good to go. This is all moving the way it should, so I'm happy. Engine has good power again. So we're not going to keep dragging this out. It's about the end of the day, 4:06 p.m. in the evening, and I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful day. Bumpy Washboard Avenue. Don't forget to tap that like button, share the video if this is helpful to you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, and I know for some people that's not a lot, but for me that's a lot. I appreciate it, each and every one of you. There's just no way that I could be motivated to do this without you guys' help. So, and encouragement. Some of the kind, or most of you are kind. Some of you have given me a run for my money. That's okay. Keeps me on my toes. So I appreciate it. And hopefully this was helpful. And hopefully if you've got a problem like this, this has been beneficial to you. So we'll catch you on the next one. And you'll have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye.